If you still think resurrection means a dead man walked out of a tomb, they got you. But by the end of this video, you'll see the real resurrection has already started, and it's happening in you. Jesus didn't just rise. He transformed into something no church ever dared to teach. The tomb wasn't empty because of a miracle. It was empty because a light body activation code was complete. This isn't about religion. It's about something buried inside you. A resurrection code, written in your very cells. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, because your soul already knows. The algorithm often buries this kind of truth, but resurrection isn't meant to stay hidden. If you want this sacred knowledge to reach others, those who are also awakening, like this video now, it helps push this illumination past the gatekeepers, straight to the ones already hearing the call. You become part of the current. They told you resurrection was merely a return from death, but they never told you what he returned as. They told you the tomb was the end of a story. But what if the tomb wasn't a grave? What if it was a womb? A sacred space for profound metamorphosis. He didn't just come back to life, unchanged. He literally became light. Think of your soul like a candle, a spark of the eternal flame. And the tomb? It wasn't a somber coffin. It was the matchbox, the very place of ignition. The ancients knew. True, deep transformation doesn't happen in the glare of ordinary comfort. It happens in the consecrated darkness, inside the earth, inside the self, inside the profound silence where the soul can finally speak. In a moment, we'll explore the significance of those 3 days of stillness and how they map to your own initiatory path. This period was not death, it was initiation, a sacred passage. In ancient Kemet, this alchemical process was deeply understood. The sarcophagus was not a prison for the dead, but a chrysalis, the human, a caterpillar of carbon, poised for transformation. What emerged was crystalline, a being of light. Your own body, remember, is a sacred temple, capable of such divine alchemy. Jesus went in as matter, as form. He came out as memory, not a recollection of the past, but an embodiment of the divine pattern itself. What Mary Magdalene witnessed outside that tomb was not merely the man she knew. It was a being of living flame, a testament to ultimate transfiguration. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel the subtle warmth, a gentle vibration in your chest. That's not just emotion, that's ignition. The resonance of your own divine code, softly stirring, beginning to reactivate. You're not just watching a video. You're not just listening to words. You are remembering something ancient within you. And the moment you realize this resurrection wasn't just his isolated path, it becomes yours. You didn't click on this exploration by accident. You were called to it. Your soul guided you here to this remembrance. But what truly transpired within the hidden stillness of that initiatory tomb? What alchemy turned flesh into flame? And how does that ancient process echo within your life today in this very moment? Here is what they never fully explained. For 3 days, the body of Jesus was unseen, veiled from the world. But it wasn't merely resting, it was rewiring. This was not sleep, not death as we conceive it. This was sacred calibration, an alchemical transmutation at the deepest level. He wasn't dead in the way they portray. He was dissolving, breaking down the artificial boundaries between form and flame, between matter and spirit. The ancient Egyptians called this emergent, luminous form the Sahu, the glorious, indestructible light body. Imagine for a moment what it feels like to have such a body, weightless yet powerful, radiant and eternal. This isn't just a concept, it's a potential. A second skin woven not from flesh, but from starlight, intention, and pure consciousness. The tomb, therefore, was a resonance chamber, a vibrational cocoon, and inside it, the very atomic structure of flesh began to hum a new song, to resonate at a vastly accelerated frequency. He didn't escape death by avoiding it. He transfigured reality through it. Matter became living memory. Cells became sigils of light. And the breath became the sacred bridge between worlds, between states of being. The resurrection isn't something that happened once, long ago, sealed in history. It's an eternal process, a vibrational reality already happening in you. Even Mary didn't recognize him at first, because what she saw was not the limited human she had known. It was the primordial pattern of divinity, reassembled and made manifest, a being of pure, radiant energy. And what she saw, the specific nature of that light, holds a key we will unlock very soon. Gently place your hand on the crown of your head. Now move it to your heart center. Breathe slowly, deeply. Feel for a subtle current, a gentle energy moving between these points. That isn't just your imagination. That's cellular memory awakening. The echo of your own light body potential. You've journeyed this far into the mystery. Pause and acknowledge that. This resonance, this feeling you have right now, means your own inner memory is already reawakening, stirring from its slumber. You are not merely here to be a passive witness. You are here to rise. Every time you feel that inner hum, that spark of intuitive knowing, understand this. You are not just a distant witness of an ancient resurrection. You are its living continuation. If this potential for light body activation exists within us all, what are the precise stages of this profound inner resurrection? And how do they manifest not as ancient history, but in the fabric of our modern lives? The ancient blueprint reveals 3 core stages to this inner resurrection. These aren't just steps, they are profound shifts in consciousness. Stage 1. The sacred death. This is not the death of the physical body, but the dissolution of illusion. The crumbling of the false self, the egoic mask, the shedding of separation, the pain you've endured in your life, the challenges that brought you to your knees. They weren't punishment, they were divine permission to awaken. Each crack in the old identity is precisely where the new light enters. Reflect for a moment on a significant challenge you've overcome. See it not as a wound, but as an alchemical opening. Feel how that experience, that death of an old way of being, courageously created space for something new to be born within you. This is the sacred alchemy of your soul. Stage 2. Divine memory. When the clamor of the ego finally subsides, the soul begins to speak. In that sacred silence, you start to hear it, the true voice that was buried beneath layers of conditioning and belief. You remember the name before your name, your original essence, the melody of your unique soul. Close your eyes for just a few seconds. Listen to the silence between your thoughts. Can you sense a deeper, quieter presence? A field of awareness beneath the surface chatter? That is the gateway to your divine memory. Stage 3. Light activation. You begin to breathe again, but differently. The breath isn't just air, it becomes a conscious spiral of energy. The spine, your sacred pillar of light, awakens as a conduit for this rising current. The inner sun, your spiritual heart, begins its ascent, radiating outwards. The old tomb of limitation cracks open from within, and the flame of your true self steps out, radiant and free. Stand up if you feel called. Plant your feet firmly. Breathe in, imagining you are drawing golden energy up from the very core of the earth, through the soles of your feet, up into your heart. Breathe out, imagining that light expanding from your heart, through your crown, connecting with the cosmos above. Feel this living circuit. You are not waiting to be saved by some external force or bygone event. You are the resurrection. The power, the pattern, the infinite potential. It is all awakening within you now. But what was the specific secret, the core vibrational key that Jesus carried, which made this resurrection not just a singular event, but a repeatable human potential? A code for divine humanhood? And why was its deepest understanding entrusted specifically to her, to Mary Magdalene? Resurrection, in its true esoteric sense, was never a return to the old, limited self. It was an arrival into the original blueprint. Jesus did not merely come back to his former physical existence. He became the living embodiment of that blueprint, the prototype, the living light form of the awakened Christ code. This was not one man's singular, unrepeatable triumph over death. It was the profound unveiling of a hidden pathway, a divine potential encoded into the very fabric of all humanity, waiting to be remembered. Christ consciousness isn't a religious affiliation or a historical figure to worship. It is the ignition of the divine spark within matter itself, a frequency so pure, so potent, it literally transforms the structure of the self from dense lead to radiant gold, from forgetful carbon to crystalline consciousness. He carried the original instructions, not instructions for blind worship, but for conscious replication. The Christ light is not a doctrine to be believed. It is a vibrational field, an attainable state of being, and it is available here and now to anyone willing to courageously die to illusion and be reborn into their authentic divine nature. Feel the truth of that, available to you. Every initiation you've courageously endured, every dark night of the soul you've navigated, every grief that tore you open, was, in truth, sacred preparation for this authentic light to return to your cells, to your conscious awareness. And now, it is here. The time for that return is now. You are still present, still engaging with this transmission. This is deeply significant. It shows a soul-level recognition, a stirring of ancient memory. The prophecy of your own awakening is not just something you watch from a distance. It's something you are actively living and co-creating in this moment. If something profound within you is rising, if you feel this ancient truth resonating in your very bones, like this video now, not just to like it, but to activate the algorithm of awakening. This signals that this message should reach others who are also ready to receive it. Comment below, "I am rising." Not as a mere comment, but as a powerful declaration, an affirmation of your own unfolding. And subscribe, not to a channel, but to the ever-expanding light that is awakening within you. You are now consciously part of a sacred movement of remembrance. Place your hand over your heart once more. Feel its steady pulse, the rhythm of life. Now, close your eyes for a moment and gently whisper, either aloud or within the sanctuary of your heart, "I am returning to my original light." Let the warmth, the subtle vibration rise and expand within you. This is not just a fleeting feeling, this is the divine code. Rebooting, reactivating within your sacred being. You are not just remembering an ancient mythology, you are reawakening biology, a divine potential encoded within your very essence. You are not the passive follower of the light. You are the fire, the illuminating principle itself. But the full story of this awakening, this radiant return of the Christ light, remains incomplete without understanding the absolutely crucial, yet often tragically erased, role of the divine feminine, embodied by one truly profound figure. Who was she, really, beyond the veils? They told you the story of resurrection culminated with a man rising from a tomb, but they systematically erased, or dangerously distorted, the one who truly understood what he became. Mary Magdalene. She was the first to witness the fully activated light body, the first to listen to its profound transmission without fear, without dogma. The one he called not servant, but companion, equal, the one who knew his soul's deepest song. She was not the repentant sinner of their revised patriarchal narrative. She was a seer, a high initiate of the sacred mysteries, a profound carrier of the Sophia current, the divine feminine wisdom, the very intelligence and compassion of the cosmos, without which the Christ light cannot be fully anchored. Mary Magdalene did not just passively witness the resurrection, she interpreted it with profound insight. She understood its cosmic implications. She became the first clear mirror of that risen frequency, capable of holding and reflecting its immense light without shattering. In the suppressed Gnostic texts, those precious fragments that miraculously survived, Jesus calls her the woman who knows the all, the apostle of apostles. He passed on to her a unique transmission, a deeper layer of the sacred teachings, one's the burgeoning institutional church, in its fear of feminine power and direct, unmediated gnosis, systematically buried beneath centuries of smoke, doctrine, and deliberate misdirection. Because to truly honor her was to admit that the ultimate resurrection, the full activation of the Christ Sophia light, is not exclusively male. It is, and always has been, about perfect divine balance. Christ and Magdalene were not hierarchical master and subservient follower. They were poles of a single unified divine reality, electric and magnetic, sun and moon, wisdom and power in perfect harmony, Shiva and Shakti. And together, their unified field, their sacred energetic union, unlocks the full potential of the light body for all humanity. Feel into the left side of your body, often associated with the feminine, intuitive, receptive aspects of your being. Then feel into your right side, often associated with the masculine, active, expressive aspects. Now, with gentle intention, sense the subtle current, the energetic interplay and potential for exquisite harmony between them, meeting and merging in your sacred center. This is not imaginary. This is the inner path of integration, of holy, inner sacred union. You are not here to merely idolize an ancient resurrection from afar, as if it belongs to someone else. You are here to integrate its living principles, its sacred fire and its profound wisdom within the crucible of your own being. You are the alchemical vessel for this great work. This journey into the heart of resurrection and the reclaimed role of the divine feminine is profound and not always easy to face. If you are still here, still present and feeling this, it is because this truth is your truth. The lost codes, the forgotten harmonies are re-emerging through you for the healing of all. Now that these ancient veils are lifted and the balanced truth begins to dawn, how do we take these monumental revelations from inner understanding to tangible reality in our daily lives? How does the sacred path continue from this powerful moment of understanding? Now you know, deep in your cells, that the tomb wasn't a final grave. It was a sacred womb, a dynamic portal of transformation. Now you remember, the Christ wasn't just a historical man. It was and is a living mirror, reflecting your own divine, limitless potential. And what rises now is not mere belief, adopted from outside. It is being, your authentic, courageous, luminous being. Say this aloud, or feel it reverberate with power deep within your soul. I am the resurrection and the life, my own. Feel the undeniable power and sovereignty contained in this I am declaration. You are not a passive spectator of some distant sacred history hoping for a savior. You are an active, vital participant in its eternal return, its re-emergence in this very age, through your very life. This isn't the end of an ancient story. It is the true, vibrant beginning of yours. The story of your own awakening, your own courageous embodiment of the light. This isn't the first time you've heard echoes of this profound truth. In fact, lifetimes may have passed where you were told to forget it, where this knowledge was driven into the deepest recesses of your soul, so that this very moment of remembrance, this reignition, would hit like lightning with the full force of undeniable revelation. And now, here you are, fulfilling that ancient, sacred calling. Every breath you take, every choice you make from this awareness ripples outward. You are not insignificant. You are a vital nexus of this awakening on the planet. Your rising matters. Let's do this resurrection ritual together. Place your palm firmly upon your chest, over your heart. Breathe deeply, consciously into this sacred center, your inner throne room. Whisper or declare from the depths of your soul with gentle conviction, I choose to carry the flame of my own resurrection. I choose to embody my light now. Now feel the truth of it. The warmth spreading, the undeniable reality of that flame. The divine spark, the Christ Sophia flame, was never truly buried in a stone tomb, lost to time. It was only ever buried under layers of illusion, patiently waiting within you. And now, in this moment of your conscious recognition, it has risen. Feel that. Own that. Be that. If you felt the fire of resurrection stirring deep within you during this journey, push this sacred message to others who are ready. Like, share. Subscribe to this current of awakening to help ignite a global movement of conscious embodiment. Comment below with the declaration, I carry the flame, if this transmission has activated something ancient and powerful within you. And prepare yourself, because the next decoding, the next layer of your awakening is coming very soon. In our next transmission, we will unveil the hidden alchemical meaning behind the phrase, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Discover how the early mystics and Gnostics encoded the solar logos, the conscious sun, into the very blueprint of your soul. You will receive practical keys to fully activate the sacred Christ Sophia flame, igniting it in your heart, rising up your spine and flowing through your enlightened speech. This is not theology. This is direct transfiguration. You were not born to merely follow the Christ archetype from a distance. You were born to become it, radiant, unique, and magnificent in your own way. The path of awakening has only just begun. The journey continues. The light expands.